Male of the goat. The billy goat is a hardy mammal belonging to the subfamily of caprines, which includes numerous breeds such as the alpine, Saanen, Poitevine, Rove, boar, Angora, or Tibetan goat. The latter was introduced to France in the 5th century by Jacques-Albin-Simon for its mohair wool, which was used for weaving church garments. More massive and larger than the female, the billy goat bears long and powerful horns and a developed beard under the chin. Its strong odor is particularly unpleasant. Goats inhabit arid meadows and steep, rocky mountainous regions. They feed on grass and foliage from small shrubs. Apart from reproduction, it lives solitarily. From the 12th century, the billy goat gradually became the embodiment of evil. Medieval iconography made it the figure of Satan, a lustful being who carnally possesses witches. This representation has the body covered with long black hair, bearing legs, ears, and a goat's beard. On its forehead, there are 3 horns, the middle one emitting a light over the assembly when presiding over the witch's Sabbath. Its eyes are large, round, and fiercely open, inflamed and hideous. Its hands are like those of a man, except that the fingers are all equal, curved like the claws of a bird of prey, the tail as long as that of a donkey, on which always appears a black man's face that the sorcerers kiss upon arriving at the Sabbath. The billy goat, the devil's effigy, also serves as a mount for witches when there are not enough brooms to transport them to their nocturnal assemblies. It is called Leonard or Black Goat, is taciturn, with superb gravity, the demon of the First Order, chief of the subordinate demons, inspector general of witchcraft, black magic, and sorcerers. In the 11th century before Christ, the 16th chapter of Leviticus, a book of the Torah teaching moral rules and religious rites to the Hebrew people, described the ritual in which, on the Day of Atonement, the high priest drew lots for one of the 2 goats brought to him. He first sacrificed one of the 2 so that the shed blood would forgive men's sins, then he put his hands on the second goat, confessed his and the people's sins, charged the animal with them, and then led it to Azazel in the desert to regain its freedom, and the people who had left to the scapegoat, called Azazel's goat, the task of settling men's injustices, returned in silence. If the origin of the name Azazel is uncertain, some scholars believe it could come from the combination of the words Uzzah and Azazel, names of 2 impure and fallen angels whose appellation is found in the expression go to Azazel or go to the devil in modern Hebrew. However, demonologists make Azazel a demon of the 2nd order, guardian of the goat and chief standard-bearer of the infernal armies. Legendary creatures of Roman mythology, the fauns, or rustic demigods, could predict the future. Despite their horns and their body half-man, half-goat, they distinguish themselves from satyrs and sylvans by less ugly traits, a less brutal, more joyful face, which sometimes earned them being considered as incubus demons, seducers of women. The musky profile, dirtiness, smell, and unrestrained sexuality of the billy goat have earned it a reputation as an ugly and repulsive beast since the 1st century before Christ. Horace already regarded it as libidinous. Pline the philosopher affirmed that billy goats begin to mate from 7 months when they are still suckling, and Columelle, a Roman agronomist, added that the animal is so unmoderated in its desires that it violates its mother while she is still nursing. The debauchery attributed to it is such that it has been told since antiquity that the god Pan, half man from the chest up, half goat from the waist down, with ears and horns, was born from the incestuous love affair of Penelope and Hermes, who had transformed into a billy goat during Ulysses' absence.